and go through the whole charting process and talk about some of my favorite features. So in the beginning, there's a number of time-saving things that we can do. So I'm just going to click on the My Account section here. And in here, we'll see default chart text. So the default chart text is different for canine and feline patients, and you can enable varying different ones. And this is designed to save you lots of time. So if you have standard discharge notes, if you have common medications that you give or restrictions or diets, this is the place where you'd put these in, and then they'll automatically be entered into the chart. There's also a space in here where you can edit any custom pathologies and treatments that you may want to add. We have put in as many as we think, and they're all based on the American Veterinary Dental College nomenclature, but you may want to add some of your own. So I'll just go right ahead and I will start a new chart. And what you will see in the screen here is the default charts, which are deciduous and adult, canine and feline. In this case, I'm going to select a canine chart, and rather than set up a new animal, I'm going to search for a new animal, and just as soon as I start typing, it starts to give me suggestions. So I'll pick this first one that comes up. Now, when I select this patient, you can see there that the chart has now changed. And what that has brought back is what we call permanent pathology. So permanent pathology is where a tooth has been either extracted and radiographed or marked as missing and radiographed, so that we know that there are no root fragments, so on and so forth. Now, that feature is a very simple feature, but it's great on initial inspection because it very quickly tells you what the mouth should look like and helps you just whether or not you need to immediately take radiographs where teeth are missing. There are some compulsory fields in here, which is veterinarian and chief complaint, which I'll just put test. And weight here, you can toggle between kilograms and pounds, depending on whatever you would like. And you can see here in some of the fields that are below that the default text that I've, hello, yes?
I'm sorry, somebody, I'll mute everybody. Hang on one second. My audio pin is not entered. Okay, Ian, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So you can see there that there are some fields that have brought in these default notes, so you wouldn't have to do them or add them again. So here we can also see all of the previous visits that once we've saved the visit we're in, we can actually click on those and we could open up all the previous visits to very quickly see images of what we've done before or treatments to track progress or have a look at how the disease is progressing. Now, some other areas you'll see in here are radiographic chart, gallery, and add files. So I'll start with gallery. If I was to click on the gallery, we can, I have to edit the visit to begin, we can choose a style of layout that we want, and we can upload images directly in there. So any image file can be uploaded no matter what the type it is. And if you do that using an iPad or a tablet or a detachable screen with camera, it will activate the camera so you can immediately pop images straight in. And that's a really neat little feature to be able to do that. You can write captions underneath them. You can title the pages, because some people will put in a mix of radiographs and images in here. However, if I go back, a radiographic chart is available, which has the correct hanging protocol, which David kindly provided from the American Veterinary Dental College. And that's been set up. If you're in a state where it's compulsory to do full mouth, it's very easy to drag those and drop those in from your radiographic software. And those are set up differently, obviously, for cats and for dogs. There is another area here, which is upload file or photo. And this area is specifically designed for areas that you would want to photograph and techniques that you would want to show, but you wouldn't want to print out on the chart. So, you know, often during procedures, you may want to take something for educational purposes, and we can put any type of file that's an image or video into that file. So it's very easy to keep good records for either educational purposes or interest. Now, scoring teeth is really quite simple. When we go to that, we have some here that are already filled in from previous visits, and it's set up to start you at tooth 101. And if we move from next tooth, it just moves around in the recommended pattern to encourage individual inspection of every tooth. Now, although that may be best practice, it may not be always possible. You can select multiple teeth. So you can, for instance, there I've just done all the upper incisors. And if you're doing that on a computer, just hold the shift, or on a pad, it's just a long press gesture. And you can add multiple scoring. Now, all of the things that we see in these tabs have the American Veterinary Dental nomenclature, and most of them have either the correct procedural way of doing things. So here, for instance, we've got the periodontal pockets, and it has a listing of what the college recommends for scoring those. And so if I was to score those, you can see here that for a dog, they've got a default value of 2, which is millimeters, and we can very quickly change those. And I tend to use tab just to change those, and we'll give this animal some seriously large pockets. And when those are scored, like done, you can see here periodontal pockets, and each individual pocket location is marked in millimeters from what we've put there. It's very simple to score. You can very quickly, if you wanted to, score by quadrant. Some people do that, and if we give these teeth a high calculus rating, when we've done here, you'll see that all that quadrant has been scored correctly with the calculus level of 4, which is 75 to 100% coverage. Some of the images that we produce when we score, for instance, gingival recession, you'll notice when I move that to a GR4, the image of the tooth changes slightly. So if I scroll down here, we can actually see that this has removed the gingiva and represented the pathology. We have set up a number of pathologies based on the college nomenclature, which are the most common, but many people do like to add their own. So we can add our own pathology. So any label can be put in. And once I've added that, when I go back here, you can see that it will show up. So you can choose essentially if you would like to use the abbreviated nomenclature, plain English language labels, or some people even just do it by discipline, which would be periodontal disease, endodontics, so on and so forth. We've tried to make that as flexible as we can. So that's one way of doing things, and the preferred and best practice way is to do that by individual tooth and score correctly. You can use your labels. If you didn't want to do that, or you wanted to add things specifically, we can move to the drawer. And this is designed to be used with an iPad and stylus, or a tablet and stylus, and we can very quickly, and forgive me because I'm not great at doing this with a mouse, you can just draw, and I'll just draw something along there, you know, for instance, a gum line, or you may want to just draw on you know, a quadrant, and you might want to put, and again, I'm not very neat at this because I'm doing it with my mouse, you know, you can do there, or if you wanted to change color and put treatments in to extract a tooth, or whatever way you want to do that, you're able to do. And that's a very quick way of doing things if you didn't want to do that. Now, nerve blocks are also here. So most states have a requirement to do time, and what are we here? So I am 11:15 a.m. tomorrow. So you're going to have a good day tomorrow because I've already had it. And if we start to put in the amount of and type of drug that you've used for your local anesthesia, you can put it there. Now, instead of having the tooltips on local anesthesia, what we've done, thanks to David, is have his lectures and notes and quick reference guides for all of the nerve block techniques. So I won't go through all of those now, but that's some very interesting reading there. Treatments are actually added the same way. You can add your own treatments. We've put in most of the common treatments. Some of them, for instance, prophylaxis, apply to all. Once we've done that, it very quickly adds on the treatment chart that we've done that to everyone. So effectively, you can chart every single tooth. You can customize things to allow you to define things in your own way. And it gives you a really clear record of everything that's there, either scoring by individual tooth or by drawing or creating your own label. As we said, we can upload files and photos, and we can choose what we include on the record. So obviously this is something that is connected to a server, and so it's good practice to save things regularly. When I choose to print the chart, you'll notice that there are a number of tabs that appear on the top, and here we choose exactly what we want to include on the chart. So the pathology chart, treatment chart, visit details including discharge notes. If you've got a referral, you can include an individual tooth report. You can include the nerve blocks, you can include the drawing if you've done the drawing in the chart, and gallery and radiographic chart if you've done that. This will come up blank, so I didn't add any. And you can see there that the first part will have your patient and owner name on it. It will have your clinic details, vet details, date, a very simple key for pathology and treatment. The drawing, if you want to include the drawing. Obviously, there's not much in here because I didn't add notes massively. An individual tooth report, which is great for two things. One is if you have a referring veterinarian, it's really good. It's also really good to help administration look at billing integrity. Local anesthesia, if you've done that, and I mean, obviously it's blank here because I didn't insert any images. And then if I wanted to, just push this out the way, if I wanted to print that, I can just print, or I can simply upload it to any file tree with an appropriate name, client, date, and you can send that directly to your any file tree. So I had working files. This would be something along the lines of how you would upload it to whatever system you've got. You just access your client files and pop it in that folder. And then you would have the record in your practice management system, as well as in this. In this case, I'll just pop this onto my desktop and save that. And what that gives you is that gives you a completely encapsulated report that you can email, send, do whatever you want to, and it's a really neat little thing. Now, in some of these images, we've got some rudimentary files, and let me just see what I've got in here. Yeah, I've got some X-rays. There we go. Let's open this one, see what we got. So here we can see that I can actually crop in on some things if I wanted to. I could just highlight a certain area, and that will do that. And when done, it'll upload the image. Now, we haven't designed this to really play around with X-rays and images. It's designed really to be able to just show them. But what it does do is it saves the images in high definition. So obviously that's a little bit fluffy because I've really zoomed in on a clear area. But one of the issues we found, particularly with dental radiography, is that when you put them into a practice management system, they're all about saving space. So they dumb down the images. So when you come to recall them, they don't have the definition that you require for really clinically seeing what you want to do. And I mean, clearing the image is very easy. You can just clear that. So in terms of how it works, that effectively is the whirlwind tour. And I guess, you know, from my point of view, it could be question and answer time.
So we have a few people on, but I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of questions right now. If we do, that's great. But Ian, I really appreciate you taking the time to show this off and let me record it so that I can get into the hands of all my doctors and see what they think. Yeah. But did anybody have any questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Ian, I will be in contact with you, and I look forward to working with you. I think this is a great opportunity to take our dental practice to the next level.
Excellent. Well, look, Alan, you know, from our point of view, we'd love to work with you, and thanks for organising this. And like I said, I'll give you a couple of days to share it around, and then be in touch again, and we'll move on from there. And I will send you a link to this program, which has got all of the timing and everything else already there, which is absolutely fantastic. Really interesting little program that I think will suit you as well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. You have a nice morning.
I will. And you guys have a great evening. Really appreciate you hanging behind to talk to us.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, good night.
Good night.